Hello, welcome back to Ruhoni Sewing. Like I said on my previous video, I have moved to a different town and I do not have my sewing machine yet. And so I've decided to make the videos on the basic patterns using different methods and measurements from what I have shown you before. And so we are going to start with the front pattern or front bodice pattern. And this is a very basic pattern to start with. This pattern is going to have only one dart, the waist dart. Remember our previous pattern has two darts, the side dart as well as the waist dart. And today we are going to draft this pattern with the waist dart only. So like I said, some of the measurements are going to be different, and now let us list these measurements. So the first measurement is the full length measurement, and then center front length. The third one is a cross shoulder measurement, and this one we are going to measure from the back. The fourth measurement is a shoulder length measurement, and then we are going to measure bust. This will be the full measurement, and then we will measure bust depth and the bust span. Then we are going to measure the chest, the shoulder slope. This is one of the new measurement. Then we are going to measure the front strap. This is also a new measurement. And we are going also to measure the side length as a new measurement, dart placement as well, and do not forget also to measure the waist. Now let me draw so that I can show you where these measurements are located in the body. I'm sorry my sketch is not going to be very perfect, but I believe you will understand where to take the measurement. And our measurement will end at the waist. Now we are going to start with the number 1, the full length. We are going to measure from the neck to the waist. That will be our number 1. For our second measurement, that is the center front length, we are measuring from the neck at the front up to the waist. Okay? The across shoulder measurement, we are going to measure it from the back, from the end of the shoulder tip to the other end of the shoulder tip. Now that is our number 3. And then number 4, that is the shoulder length. We are measuring from the neck up to the end of the shoulder tip. That is our number 4. Moving on to the bust measurement. Remember, we are measuring this measurement at the fullest part of our bust. These dots represent the nipples, and so we are going to measure all around our bust, and that will be our bust measurement. That is number 5. Then the bust depth, that is number 6. You are measuring from the neck up to the bust, the fullest part of your bust. That is number 6. The bust span now is the distance between the nipples, the fullest part of your bust. Okay, that is a distance between those two nipples. That is our number 7. Then we are going to measure the chest, which you are going to measure it just slightly above the bust, somewhere mid armhole, and that's where we are going now to measure only at the front. Okay, and that is our number 7. Sorry, that is 8. Okay, now number 9, that is a shoulder slope. The shoulder slope, you are going to measure from the shoulder tip up to the center front at the waist. Okay, this is one of the new measurement, and it will be number 9. And then number 10, that is a front strap measurement. This is also a new measurement. We are going to measure this from the neck up to where the side length measurement is starting. So we are going to measure from the neck up to just under the arm where the side length measurement starts. That is number 10. And now number 11 is the side length. You are going to start from the underarm up to the waist. Okay, that is number 11. And then we have the waist measurement. Remember I told you to add the waist measurement. Now it is from here. That will be our number 12. And lastly, the dart placement. So with this measurement, you are going to decide from the center front where you are going to place your dart. So we are going to measure from the center front going outwards. Okay, so it can be anywhere around this area, but for me I like to place it at the same distance as the half of the bust span. So I can just elongate the line from the bust depth downwards up to the waist, and this is where my dart placement is, but you can either place it either in front of this line or behind this line. This is a list of the materials needed for this tutorial. So I'm going to start by drawing the line here at the center, but for you, you can draw your line at the edge of your pattern paper. But because of the filming, I'm going to draw mine at the center of the pattern paper. This was the only position where I can film well what I'm drawing. Then draw a perpendicular line to the line you've just drawn. Again, at this point, if you can get hold of the square ruler, it will be better. Then after drawing, we are going to measure this point here as point A. That is our starting point. And again, make sure that the first line that you have drawn is longer than the full length measurement. Okay, so we are going to start by measuring from point A. That is our starting point. We are going to measure full length measurement. Put a mark, then take your ruler and draw a perpendicular line going outwards. And then from A, measure half of the shoulder length measurement going outwards. Put a mark and label that point as C, and then take your ruler and draw a perpendicular line going downwards. Then from B, we are going to measure the center front measurement. Okay, put a mark and label that point as D. Then take your ruler and draw a perpendicular line from D. Then we are going to measure quarter of the bust measurement from B, which is 23.3 plus 1 centimeter for ease. Put a mark and label it as E, and then draw a perpendicular line going upwards. And now from B, we are going to measure dart placement, and for my case, it's just half of the measurement of bust span. Put your mark as F. Now from point F, measure half a centimeter downwards and put a mark. That is your new F. Okay, and draw a line to this new F point. Now we are going to measure from B to the line dropping from C shoulder slope measurement plus 0.5 centimeter of an ease. Put a mark as G. Then connect B and G with a straight line. Now from G, we are going to measure the bust depth, which is 23.8. Put a mark and label it as H. Then we are going to measure shoulder length from G. Remember, we are going to measure half of the shoulder length. Put a mark and then connect these 2 points with a straight line as shown. That is your point I. Then draw a perpendicular line from I meeting the line from D. Now we are going to measure from I to this line here from E, the front strap measurement. Plus 1 centimeter of ease, that is 27.7. Then connect point I and K. Now from K, measure the side length measurement. Put a mark as M. Then on the side, measure 1.5 centimeters. Put a mark as a new M and connect these 2 M's. And then from K, measure towards the second M the same length of the side length. It is slightly above the second M. Draw a straight line from K to this last point, and this will be your new M. Take a ruler and connect point M to F. Remember, F is slightly down the line. At point H, draw a perpendicular line to the center front line and label the point on the center front line as N. And on this line, measure bust span measurement from N plus 0.5 centimeter of ease. We are going to have 10 centimeters. Put a mark and label it as O. Now measure from D to N, and here we got 18. A third of that distance is 6, and so we do not need a calculator anymore. Then take a ruler and draw a straight line from point P. And now on this line we are going to measure the chest measurement, half of the chest measurement, and then add 0.5 for ease. Put a mark and then take a ruler and draw a perpendicular line as shown. Then to the waist measurement from line M. Waist measurement is 69.8. We are going to get a quarter of that measurement, which is 17.45. Now we are going to minus this distance here, which is 9.5. We got 7.95. Now we are going to plus our ease 0.5. Now we got 8.45. And so we are going to measure from M 8.45, put a mark, that is point R. Then connect O to F with a straight line as shown. Take your tape measure and measure the length of that line you've just drawn. Now measure the same distance of that line from point O towards point R. This is to ensure that the dart legs are of the same length. Now put your mark, it is slightly above point R, and draw a straight line. So this is our new R. Then connect M to R and F to B with a slightly curved line. To finish, measure 1 centimeter below the bust point and redraw the dart legs as shown. And lastly, draw the armscye curve. You can draw freely by hand or you can use the curved ruler. Make sure also to draw the neckline as shown. Do not forget to measure the distance from A to I because you are going to need it when drawing your back bodice. And then after that, cut your pattern. So here is our front bodice pattern.